Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. And in this video, I wanted to show you how to make a really easy party favor bag or a small gift bag if you should need one for a small gift. So let's get started. I have a piece of designer paper here. This is cut at 6 by 11 inches. I'm going to grab my Simply Scored scoring tool and put the 11-inch side at the top and make some scores. So here we're going to go at, let's see, I want to make sure, yes, this is my long side, so this is going to be the top side of the bag up here, all right? So I'm going to score it at 1 1/2, 5 1/4, 6 3/4, and 10 1/2. Then I'm going to flip it, and this is going to be the top and the bottom of the bag, and I'm scoring at 1 1/2, whoops, and then 4 1/2. So that's 1 1/2 inches from this side. Okay. Now, as always, when we're making boxes or bags or putting score lines and giving them a good burnish, we need to use our bone folder. And so I'm just folding on all of these score lines and giving it a good burnish here. Makes it so much easier to put things together. So this designer paper currently in the end of May of 2021 is in our mini catalog, and it is called Ice Cream Corner Designer Series paper, and it coordinates perfectly with the Sweet Ice Cream Bundle, which I'm using this for this particular project, and it will be discontinuing soon. So it's the lifespan of it was through the end of June 30th, 2021, but it eventually will be on a while supplies last basis. So if you don't have it, you need to grab it. All right. I'm going to cut off this little rectangle here at the end, all right, and then cut up on all of these score lines. Now, I had a hard time deciding whether to use these little ice cream cones on the outside or the little confetti sprinkles, and I decided to go with the sprinkles. Okay, so now I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal Plus on that little tab that was formed when we cut off this rectangle. I'm going to fold that over and bring over this side and match the top and the edges here. Okay, so while I'm at this stage, if you are making these ahead of time, you could do all of this and store these flat until you're ready to assemble, okay? And then, okay, so now we have our 2 side flaps for the bottom, and then this is the seam, so I'm calling that the back of the bag, and I'm pushing that in, and then I'll put adhesive here. And then this score line here, when you push your fingers to the inside like that, it just gives it like a fun little top there, okay? It gives it like a little tab. And so what I'm going to do, of course, you would put your favors or your gift in your bag. You take a hole punch. I'm using an old crocodile here. And you just eyeball it and punch 2 holes here in the center of the bag. I'm going through all the layers, okay? And then we're going to tie our bag closed there. So let's go ahead and do that while we're working on our closure. I'm getting a piece of scrap paper. This is our crinkled white seam binding ribbon, and I want it to be Bermuda Bay in color. And so I'm taking my dark Bermuda Bay Stampin' Blends, and I'm just going to color this. In fact, I'm going to use my brush end and just go lightly. And I love this because it goes through and colors the front and the back of this ribbon. Awesome. So you see I'm just lightly brushing, and it's alcohol ink, so it dries very quickly. But to make sure I don't smear anything, I'll set it aside before I thread it through. Okay? So I cut that about 12 inches in length. Okay, see how the color's on both sides? And I'll just let that sit for a minute, and let's work on our main image. So what I did is I cut 2 of our layering circle dies, a scallop and then just a solid basic white circle, Bermuda Bay basic white. And I took this piece of designer paper from that ice cream corner stack, okay? And I am taking my punch, and I'm going to choose one of these to punch out my ice cream. So I think I'm going to use that one right there. Okay, so I'll save that. And then I have a small piece of the waffle weave cinnamon cider. This is also in that designer paper. But if you don't have it, you could also stamp these images and punch them. But I thought, let's make this quick and make use of that designer paper. And look how cute that little ice cream cone is. So let's go ahead and put that down. A little bit of liquid glue. And I'm doing this before I put stamp my sentiment. Whoops. I have to get my adhesive remover on that so that I know how much room I have over here on this side. Okay. So now I took the sentiment, "You're so cool," and I'm going to use Bermuda Bay ink. Oh, that's not Bermuda Bay. And let's go ahead and stamp the sentiment here on this circle. So let's ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it right here. Okay, now let's adhere it. Now you see I did get that glue where I dropped my glued piece, and we no longer carry an adhesive remover, but I'm sure you can get those on Amazon or somewhere like that. That's a good tool to have. It looks like this. I'm going to wait and let this dry completely before I get it off. All right, so now I'm using my Artistry Blooms sequins. And love all these colors. I thought these would go great with this ice cream. Let me take your pick. And I'm going to take one of these. And then let's see. And then I'm going to get one of these little blue ones and put it down here. Okay. Isn't that fun? And so easy. You could do this assembly line, and that is going to go right there on the front. And I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to put those on. Let's just peel off this backing. These little bags are great to make, like I said, ahead of time and keep them at the ready for when you need them, either for gifts or parties. And you don't want to store them like this, okay? So look how cute that is. Okay, I can see my shiny glue there, but I am going to work on that. Okay, so now I'm getting the ribbon that we colored, and I'm going to thread it through these punched holes. And then we're going to tie it up, and it is going to be a little party favor bag or gift bag ready to go. And really, you could probably put the ribbon in it too. And I'm trying to see if you could fold that down. No, I would fold it flat if you're going to make them ahead of time. And then just do this last. Okay. Let me tie the bow, and we're going to call it done. Okay, if you visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, you'll get the measurements and all the details for this particular bag. And while you're there, be sure you sign up for my mailing list and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.